In this video tutorial, we're going to quickly look over settings. So when you talk about settings, we'll just look, and this is for the overall theme. Let's go ahead and quickly look at SoundCloud. So a SoundCloud, you can actually define, and when we talk about appearances widgets, you can actually define your widget types here, whether it's HTML or Flash. We use HTML in our sidebars, and really this is kind of a cool feature, but it's overkill. We won't necessarily go into why, but most of our widget types are HTML because the things that we embed in sidebars, for instance, rotating ads or what have you, actually are integrated HTML and Flash. Whether you want to show your artwork, yes, certainly you want to do that. And you can even define the heights of your Flash or HTML widgets here. And that will become more relative as we work through this course. So when we drop this down, let's quickly click on anti-spam. So anti-spam, it is always fighting spam is always relative, but those who took our intermediate series, we suggested a plugin called Askamet, which is the top WordPress plugin and free for fighting spam, so much so WordPress now includes it, although it was developed by a third party, as a part of their default install. So that is something that we deal with in the plugin section in our intermediate series. So we don't necessarily want to spend a lot of time. We want to encourage you to take that course. But blog settings, this again, you can lock in your website style with doing all of your settings here, but we want to encourage you to be flexible and make that decision with each post or each page you create. Why? Simply because if you lock your blog in, or even your website or your web pages, into one general style defined here, you forego the ability to test whether a default setting for your page is best, a full width, a box, a video, text, whatever that is. And what you will find, whatever your product or service is, this might not be best. A full width blog, really, yeah, we'd stay away from that simply because it doesn't give you the ability to put in things that you need to in the sidebar, such as ads, such as other clickable links, such as other things that you will need. But showing excerpts, yes, you can do that. So we just want to encourage you, and that's how we operate, and that's what we do here. So with that, let's go ahead and click the likes. You can activate likes in your blog, but there is a much better tool that we are going to get into that you can define here in your plugin section that will give you likes, that will give you Google shares, tweets, whatever it is, because the bottom line here is about building backlinks and people sharing your content. That's essentially what this boils down to, and we have a much better tool that works great in conjunction with this theme we'll get into. The next thing we want to quickly talk about, let's click on the top header. So the top header, if you remember, we don't necessarily need a tagline here. Why? Because we defined that when we got down into customizing the theme, so that isn't something we necessarily want to take care of here. Copyright. Now, this is relative. Let us say this. For those of you developing your website, it's always great to put a copyright here, but we want to encourage you, even if you have a web developer that did your site previously, you need to be the copyright owner. So for our clients here, what we are going to say is we're going to copyright 2001 for at Burns and Brent Counseling. Now, we get involved in projects sometimes, every once in a while, mostly social web, mostly for nonprofits. However, what you want to make sure of, folks, is that it is your copy right here as opposed to anybody that, even the theme contributor. So also when the year changes, you want to change here. So we're going to go ahead and save that because we really like that feature. It's going to show up in the footer, and we'll make that decision about where to put it a little bit later. Video players, this is irrelevant simply because you are going to be able to embed videos directly in your sidebars. You can embed videos directly here in Pages, and we're going to show you what that looks like. And you could do it in Posts, and typically those come with video players. However, there is a very cool video player, and it's free, that we are going to use. Guess from where? The plugin section. However, if you did want to, let's go ahead and stream on down. If you did want to do this, all this is about is defining the color. There's really no branding options here. That's why we don't generally use that. Not saying it's a bad thing, but we don't, because if we're going to use a video player, we like to brand it, and you should too. So plugins, activate pretty photo for WordPress. We don't need this plugin. We're going to go ahead and leave that off because we are actually going to show you how to create power sliders with WordPress. So when we drop down, that's all. When we come back, we'll do both of these together, and then we will move on to setting up some more of this dynamic website. Stay with us.